From the raging Rhygin of yesteryear's notoriety to Duppy Film of modern day infamy, over the decades, the narrative has changed but the storyline remains the same. Duppy Film is the latest to have commanded center stage in the arena of the criminal underworld, on which a long line of dangerous men dubbed public enemy number one have paraded with deadly ferocity for more than half a century. Their stories are colourfully captivating, not unlike the riveting accounts of men who are not afraid to use the deadly weapons that they tote, and in a like manner they invariably meet dreadful ends. The public enemies number one have in a sense set themselves apart from the labelled Eradons such as Claudius Claudimus, Lester Lloyd Coke aka Jim Brown, and his son Christopher Dodosco. A frightening feature of the men who have made the most wanted list is the label armed and extremely dangerous, and for good reasons. All have been accused of multiple serious criminal acts, evading determined crime fighters who have soldiered on in the face of adversity. By any means necessary is another feature of the hoodlums, past and present. The likes of Rhygin, Sandokan, and now most recently Duppy Film have been accused of brutishly snuffing out the lives of crime fighters, while others are in possession of their own peculiar styles. Here's a brief look at some of the most infamous. Starting the list is Rhygin, the infamy of Rhygin or Rhygin, whose real name is Vincent Ivanhoe Martin, of the 1960s, ballooned when he shot his way out of a dragnet, leaving one policeman dead and two others injured. So infamous was he that a character was featured after him in a famous movie and book of the same name. Next on the list is Copper. There is a widespread view among crime fighters that Dennis Copper Bart was the leader of the East Kingston based Hot Steppers gang, which staged several bank robberies in the later half of the 1970s. With a $5,000 bounty on his head, Copper was described by crime fighters as a cold-blooded killer who had mastered the art of disguise. It was in May 1978 that Copper was finally cut down by the police after he and his cronies failed in their bid to rob the Cayman Park racetrack in St. Catherine. Next on the list is Starkey. Anthony Starkey Tingle was the most wanted man in 1980 and 1981. Starkey was the leader of an Arnett Gardens based gang and was killed in a house in Johnstown, Kingston, during an alleged gun battle with the police in 1981. Next is Phantom Killer. Conrad Levy, better known as the Phantom Killer, was suspected of killing close to a dozen people in the late 1980s and early 90s. Phantom Killer, who reportedly acted alone dressed in women's dress and wigs before stalking and killing bad men, was caught by the police in 1991 and sentenced to death. He had his sentence reduced to life but escaped from prison 11 years later. He was killed on Christmas morning in 2002 during a shootout with the members of the now defunct Crime Management Unit led by then Senior Superintendent Renita Adams. Next on the list is Sandakan. It has been 30 years since it was reported that Wayne Sandakan Smith brazenly climbed his way into the Olympic Gardens police station and took the lives of 3 policemen and some of the armory that was stored there. The curfews and raids to nab Sandakan elicited a curious result as he was allegedly cut down by cronies in Tower Hill in 1980. So enviable at the infamous Kingston-based Sandakan found himself that another hoodlum sought to imitate him and met the same fate, death. In 2004, Eric Sandakan Brown, aged 29, an accused killer who was on the FBI's most wanted list, was killed by police. Next is Natty Morgan. The original Sandakan was not cold in his grave when Natty Morgan and his men emerged in the criminal underworld with a vengeance. Natty Morgan was targeted for, among other crimes, invading a wake in Seaview Gardens for one of his victims and executing at least 6 men who were in attendance. Natty Morgan managed to escape custody after he was shot and injured by the police during a shootout in West Kingston. The gangster escaped from the gun court in 1990 and remained at large until he was cut down in a hail of police bullets after the cops had cornered the gang in Lake Spen, St. Catherine 8 months later. Next is John Crowe. Winston Mccarty, also called John Crowe, was the leader of the John Crowe gang, who the police blame for a number of murders, shootings and robberies. He was killed by the police after he was seen firing a gun salute at a dance along the Essex Hall Main Road in St. Andrew in 1996. Next on the list is Joel Andem. The long chronicle of dangerous most wanted men over the years led to the now incarcerated Joel Andem. most wanted for 4 years before he was captured in the district of Clarksonville, St. Anne. And them was charged with 2 murders, conspiracy to murder, 10 counts of shooting with intent, 12 counts of illegal possession of firearm, kidnapping and robbery with aggravation. The leader of the notorious Joel and them gang came to national prominence in 2000 after the abduction and murder of gas station operator Sylvia Edwards in August of that year. Up to March 2002, the gang was said to be responsible for 20 murders. He would kill you if he looks at you and does not like you, a police officer once said. And them is now serving time in prison after his 2005 conviction. Closing out the list is the infamous Duppy Film. Duppy Film, who was christened Marlon Perry, was implicated in the brutal slaying of Corporal Kenneth Davis and Constable Craig Palmer on Tuesday, December 22, 2015. He was on the run for over 6 years and was accused of multiple murders, rapes, extortion, woundings and robberies. He was shot and killed by police at the Al Shamar guest house in Port Morant, St. Thomas, clutching 2 guns in 2017. Although the names of Copper, Natty Morgan, Sandokan and more recently Joel and them and Duppy Film are easily recalled by seasoned cops, the list of dangerous criminal is an extremely long one. Rhygin twin crime and entertainment in the 1960s to create a colourful image following his arrival in Kingston from St. Catherine. Others commanded superlative notoriety over the years, including Copper, Sandakan, and Natty Morgan. For many seasoned crime fighters who have seen it all, Copper has been voted the deadliest of the deadly and the shrewdest of the shrewd. But there is no question that the likes of Natty Morgan spark untold fears. This video was made possible through the continued generosity of my patrons. To become a patron, follow the link in the description below. Thank you for watching the video. Drop a like and a comment down below and consider subscribing if you haven't done so as yet. Until next time, walk good.